Self-managed superannuation funds have become the hot topic in property investing, and for some they could provide an opportunity to diversify your fund assets and obtain a direct property investment that you might otherwise not have the equity or the cash to buy. But just because self-managed super funds now can borrow to buy a direct property investment doesn't mean that everyone should be jumping on that bandwagon and setting up their own fund. Such a structure isn't suitable for everyone, and you should consider a number of issues before you go ahead. They include: 1. Loans to self-managed superannuation funds are non-recourse. This means that the bank's only recourse is the security property and they can't touch any other fund assets. As such, they're more conservative with their loan to valuation ratios than they are when lending to individuals, and they cap them at 80%. Even then, in many areas where a bank may advance an 80% loan to an individual, they're likely to offer a 60 to 70% maximum loan to super funds. 2. You can't leverage against the growth of a property in super. You can only use a property once to secure a loan. Any growth can't be subsequently used to borrow against, say for a deposit, so the exponential effects of leverage aren't available within super. 3. Most individuals have around $100,000 in super. Rolling this over to a self-managed super fund would mean that, considering the lower loan to valuation ratios, the fund could likely only buy one property. It's not a prudent strategy to have all of a fund's resources invested into a single illiquid asset. 4. Self-managed superannuation funds can be costly to run. A single fund can have more than $4,000 a year in accounting and audit costs, which means that a fund with only $100,000 in cash assets would face a 4% administrative cost. The property purchase would have to significantly outperform the market in order to make it a worthwhile exercise. The property yields and growth would need to be enough to cover the running costs and then provide a return equal to or better than other investments. 5. The borrowing regime is complex. The fund itself doesn't borrow. The borrowings are made to a custodial trust, which is set up to hold the asset on behalf of the fund. Once the loan's repaid, the asset transfers to the fund. And so there's the added cost of setting up this custodial trust and the added compliance of running such a trust. Remember too that highly geared properties carry significant tax benefits from both on-paper deductions such as depreciation and actual losses where the income is less than expenses. Superannuation funds are a tax-advantaged environment, which means that where you have good income on an investment, you pay less tax. But the reverse is true too, where you have both actual and on-paper property losses, which is the norm, especially in the early years, then you'll not be able to fully maximise the tax benefits as you can when a property asset is held in a medium to high income earner's own name. And those tax benefits can be useful in both helping you to meet cash flow shortfalls while you wait for the rental yield to grow over time and giving you extra cash to repay debt, enabling further leverage into more property sooner. On a final note, let me point out that much of the push for property purchases by self-managed super funds is coming from the middlemen who sell them. Times are tough for a property marketeer right now as investors tighten their belts in the wake of lending restrictions and other factors. It didn't take long for the spruikers to figure out that self-managed super funds and the new borrowing rules opened up a whole new marketplace for them. They're hitting that market hard and verging on the precipice of giving advice while they try to move property, which is rarely in a hot spot and which often comes to you well over market value, weighted down as it is with hefty, undisclosed commissions. If you're looking at setting up a self-managed super fund because you think it's a shortcut to owning property, then take care. Carry out comprehensive due diligence about the deal itself, the company selling the property, and the viability of the underlying asset as a suitable investment. There isn't a structure in the world which can improve the performance of an asset which was never going to perform in the first place. Hi there, I'm Margaret Lomas. You probably would love to buy an investment property, but you're so busy making a living and looking after the family that there's just no time to do so. Well, you're the reason that we created Property Match. The Property Match algorithm uses your investing criteria, myriad data points for thousands of suburbs across Australia, and machine learning to search Australia-wide and find the property which best matches you. Give us a call today or visit our website mypropertymatch.com.au to find out more.